ever hold a piece of metalwork and think, like, how they even make this?
Mm-hmm.
We're going to do a deep dive today into a career that's, well, it's all about shaping metal in ways you wouldn't believe.
That's right.
We're talking about upsetting machine operators.
Okay.
Get ready, by the way.
Yeah.
By the end of this deep dive, you are going to sound really smart at your next trivia night.
It's more than just trivia, though, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
sure.
it's like a whole hidden world of craftsmanship.
Oh, yeah.
These operators use these machines called upsetting presses. Think of them like super-powered blacksmiths.
Okay.
They're taking metal, making it thicker in very precise spots.
Wow.
And that's how you get all those intricate shapes that we see every day, you know?
So like taking a plain old metal bar and turning it into like a gear for a giant clock or like, I don't know, part of a suspension bridge.
Exactly. And here's the really wild part. The dies they use.
Okay.
These molds that shape the metal,
Yeah.
they can have, get this, multiple cavities.
Really?
Yeah, so it's like this,
Oh.
it's like a high-stakes puzzle getting all those details just right.
Okay, yeah, that's where my brain starts to melt a little bit.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not just pushing a button.
No.
There's serious skill involved here. Like,
Got it.
what does the RoleCatcher guide,
Right.
what does it say about a typical day on the job?
All right, so picture this. You walk onto the factory floor, it's buzzing, things are happening.
Yeah.
And there's your machine,
Okay.
this hulking piece of equipment. Like, you've basically become best friends with this thing. You're feeding in metal stock. Maybe it's steel rods that day. Who knows?
Right.
You're adjusting the settings to get that perfect squeeze.
Yeah.
And then you're, checking out those finished pieces, making sure everything looks good. It's physical, it's demanding.
Yeah.
But there's a certain rhythm to it.
I bet. And a whole lot of responsibility, right?
Oh, yeah.
The guide mentioned something about upsetting machine operators needing to be like hyper aware of the metal's properties.
Yeah.
Like what's the big deal if they're off by a little bit?
Oh, a little bit can be the difference, right, between a perfect part and like a whole batch getting tossed out.
Oh, well.
They've got to think about the metal's temperature, how much force the machine can handle.
Yeah.
Even the type of steer itself makes a huge difference. We're talking about incredibly tight tolerances, sometimes measured in thousandths of an inch.
You've officially made this sound way cooler than I ever imagined,
Uh-huh.
but also kind of intense.
Right.
Like the guide mentioned, this is a job that's in high demand, which is awesome,
Yeah.
but it's also very physically demanding.
Right.
So what's the trade-off there?
It's that classic balance, right? Hands-on work, that's always in demand.
Right.
It often means it's not going to be a, cushy office job.
Right.
But for a lot of folks, that's the appeal. You're using your hands, you're using your mind, and you get to see what you made.
Yeah.
Like in a very real way. Plus, the guide mentioned the earning potential. Not bad, especially as you get more experience.
So not for the faint of heart, but potentially very, very rewarding, both like personally and financially.
You got it. Now let's say you're listening to this and you're thinking, all right, I'm intrigued, but how do I even become an upsetting machine operator?
Right.
What do I do? Well, the guide says most people in this line of work, they start with a solid high school diploma,
Okay.
and then they really dive into on-the-job training.
Apprenticeships, right.
Yeah. Learning from the masters.
That's it. Those apprenticeships, they're like the secret sauce.
Oh, yeah.
You learn stuff you just can't get from a textbook,
I bet. Speaking of learning, the RoleCatcher guide, it also has this whole section
Oh, yeah.
on interview questions.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm guessing, like, prepping for those questions, even if you've got the skills, it's still crucial. Oh, for sure. Imagine. You walk into that interview, you're feeling good, you know your stuff, right?
Right.
And then, bam! They hit you with a question you haven't even thought about.
Oh, no.
And suddenly, all that confidence, poof, gone.
Oof. Yeah. Yeah, I've been there. It's like your brain just turns to mush.
Totally.
Yeah.
So having those answers ready, like actually practicing, man, that can be a lifesaver.
For sure.
It's about walking in prepared, feeling good, showing them you're not just skilled with your hands, you've also got the smarts to back it up, right?
Yeah.
And that's where RoleCatcher can really help you out.
Okay, yeah. So it's not just like about finding a job. It's about being like prepared to actually get the job.
Totally.
So how does RoleCatcher actually help with that?
Well, all right, imagine this. You're tired of those job boards, right?
Yeah.
A million tabs open, job descriptions everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
RoleCatcher, you can pull it all into one place.
Okay.
Get organized.
Yeah.
They even analyze those job descriptions, right, to show you exactly what skills those employers are really looking for.
That's pretty genius.
Yeah.
No more trying to figure out what the hiring manager means by detail-oriented team player.
Exactly. And speaking of details,
Yeah.
one of the, I think, coolest features
Okay.
is their interview prep tool.
Oh, okay.
They have this huge database of interview questions.
Wow.
And they're tailored to different careers, including, you guessed it,
Okay.
upsetting machine operator.
So you're not sweating under the fluorescent lights,
No way.
trying to come up with a brilliant answer
Exactly.
on the spot.
You can practice beforehand,
Yeah.
right? You get comfortable talking about what you've done.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you can even use their AI feedback feature.
Oh, wow. Okay. So it's like next level prep.
It really is.
And I bet that confidence boost
Oh, yeah.
makes a difference when you're actually in the interview.
Huge difference.
So let's say, you nail it.
Yeah.
You ace the interview,
Yeah.
you get the job.
Yeah.
What's the trajectory then for an upsetting machine operator?
Right.
Like, is there room to grow?
For sure.
Because starting out is one thing.
Yeah.
I'm always curious, where can this go?
Right. No.
Like, what does the guide say?
So it actually lays out a pretty clear path, right? You start with those entry-level gigs.
Yeah.
Learning the basics, you're assisting the more experienced folks.
Mm-hmm.
But as you get better, you get more comfortable.
Yeah.
You start running those machines on your own.
Oh.
You're troubleshooting. You're even mentoring the newer folks.
So you go from like the student to the master.
Exactly.
Okay, and then what happens at the top of the ladder?
All right. So the guide calls it the lead upsetting machine operator.
Oh, okay.
So now think of it like you're conducting the orchestra.
Oh, wow.
You've got a whole team of operators.
Okay.
You're managing workflow, quality control. You're even working with like the engineers on new techniques.
Oh, wow. Okay, so you go from like hands-on machine operation to
Yeah.
leading a team and actually like shaping innovation.
Right.
That's awesome.
It's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
And get this. The guide also mentions
Yeah.
that the skills you pick up,
Yeah.
they transfer. Like with some extra training, you could move into things like tool and die making.
Wow.
Maybe even like mechanical engineering, who knows?
Okay, so you're not like stuck
No, not
in one specific role.
Yep.
Your skills are valuable all over the place.
That's right. And especially with how, manufacturing is always changing
Yeah.
those adaptable skills. Gold, man, gold.
Well, speaking of changing,
Yeah.
the guide did mention automation.
Oh, right.
And I feel like that's always the kind of the elephant in the room.
Yeah, for sure.
Like robots are coming,
Mm.
machines are getting smarter.
Yeah.
So how does that impact a job that's so hands-on?
It's a big question. And honestly, it's one that like people are still figuring out,
Right.
Some folks, they're worried, right? Robots are going to take over all the jobs.
Yeah.
But I think it's more complicated than that.
Because even like the smartest robot
Oh, absolutely.
still needs someone to program it,
Totally.
to fix it,
Mhm.
to like tell it what to do in the first place.
100%. What's probably going to happen
Yeah.
is the types of tasks that upsetting machine operators focus on, those are going to shift a little.
Okay.
The stuff that's like super repetitive
Yeah.
or really physically hard,
Yeah.
that might be automated.
Okay.
But the things that need like a human touch,
Yeah.
quality control,
Yeah.
solving those weird problems,
Uh-huh.
that's where humans are going to shine.
So it's not so much jobs disappearing.
Right.
It's more like
Yeah,
jobs evolving.
you got it. And the people who roll with those punches,
Yeah.
they're the ones who are going to do all right,
They're gonna thrive.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's about always learning,
Yeah. Yeah.
staying sharp.
It's about becoming more skilled, not less.
That's it.
Okay, so we've talked a lot about the work itself,
Yeah.
but I'm curious about the environment.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like what's it actually like
Yeah.
to spend your day as an upsetting machine operator?
Okay, so picture this. You're on the factory floor.
Okay.
You're surrounded by machines. They're humming.
Yeah.
There's a rhythm to it all,
Mhm.
You might be at your own station, or you might be working with a team on something big.
So it's like a dynamic environment.
For sure.
Like you're focused, but also part of a team.
And it can be physically demanding, right?
Right.
You're on your feet.
Right.
You might be lifting stuff.
Yeah.
But, you're also there's a real sense of like camaraderie.
Yeah.
with the other folks who do what you do.
Like you're all in it together.
Exactly.
Right.
And the guide really emphasized this. Safety. Super important.
Yeah, of course.
Like, you're going to be wearing all the gear, earplugs, safety glasses, steel-toed boots.
Yeah.
Got to protect yourself, you know?
Because you don't want to be thinking about a ringing in your ear.
Right.
When you're running a massive piece of machinery.
Exactly. And the guide also talked about this idea of precision.
Yeah.
Like attention to detail.
Right.
We're talking about these incredibly powerful machines shaping metal to, like, crazy tolerances.
So it's a job for someone who really likes accuracy.
Big time.
Yeah.
And that pride in their work.
Yeah.
That comes through in, like, every story the guide told.
You know, we talk a lot about soft skills these days.
Yeah.
And, like, how important those are, no matter what job you're doing.
Yeah, definitely.
But how do those play into a job like this?
Oh, they're huge. Think about it. You're in this environment, right?
Yeah.
You got to be able to talk to people, solve problems together.
Yeah, be a team player for sure.
Exactly. And, you know, things change. You
Yeah.
got to be able to roll with it.
Yeah, think on your feet.
Exactly. Every day is different.
That's so true.
Right.
Yeah.
So those soft skills,
Yeah.
they're not just like a nice to have.
Yeah.
They're essential.
Okay, so before we move on to the kind of the final part of our deep dive here,
Right.
are there any like resources or organizations
Oh, yeah.
that you would recommend? Like if someone's listening to this,
Yeah,
they're interested, they want to learn more.
for sure. For sure.
Where do they go?
Oh, yeah. The RoleCatcher guide actually had some good ones in there.
Oh, perfect.
So, like, for anyone who's serious about this, check out the Precision Metal Forming Association. They're all about, like, education, training, that kind of thing.
So they're like the ones who are keeping up with everything that's new in the field.
Totally. They're like the trendsetters.
Yeah. Okay. Very cool.
Then you've got the Precision Machined Products Association, another great one, both for like people looking for work and employers.
Gotcha.
They're really big on promoting excellence in precision machining, so.
Which is, right up our alley.
Exactly.
Okay, so two really good ones to start with.
Yeah, for sure.
Any others that kind of caught your eye?
Yeah, the guide also mentioned the United Steelworkers Union.
Oh, okay.
And they represent a bunch of different industries, but metalworking is one of them.
Okay. Now, I'm thinking, like, for anyone listening who maybe isn't as familiar with, like, unions in general,
Right.
What role do they play in a career like this?
Yeah, good question. Think of them like they're the voice of the workers, right? So they're the ones who are out there fighting for things like fair pay, making sure the working conditions are safe,
Yeah.
benefits, all that good stuff.
Okay.
They can be, especially if you're just starting out, right?
Right.
And this is like a job where you're really, putting in the work.
Yeah.
Having that union there can be huge.
It's like having, like, backup,
Totally. And they often have like training programs and stuff too, which can be, that can help you get ahead.
For sure.
Now let's talk money.
Okay.
Because I mean, at the end of the day,
Gotta pay the bills.
exactly, right? Like can you make a living doing this?
Right. So for an upsetting machine operator,
Yeah.
what kind of earning potential are we talking about?
All right. So the guide said it really depends, right? Where you're working, how much experience you've got,
Makes sense.
what industry you're in.
Right.
But in general, it's a good wage. And as you move up, right, get more experience, get into those leadership roles,
Yeah.
you can definitely live comfortably. You know?
So there's like real potential there.
Oh, yeah.
Especially for someone who's, they're willing to put in the work
Exactly.
to really like hone their craft and move up.
100%. It's about, having those skills that people want and knowing what you're worth.
I like it.
Right.
Okay, so for anyone listening right now who's thinking, all right, sign me up, where do I find these jobs?
Good question.
Where do they even, like, begin?
All right, so this is where RoleCatcher comes in again, right?
Yeah, perfect.
They've got this awesome job board, pulls in listings from, like, all over the place.
They're not on a million different websites.
Exactly. Save yourself the headache.
It's like a one-stop shop
There you go.
for upsetting machine operator gigs.
That's it.
I love it.
And they have this thing, it's called saved queries. So, like, you put in what you're looking for,
Okay.
location, industry, whatever,
Okay.
and when a new job gets posted, that matches. They let you know.
Wow. So you don't even have to like actively search.
Nope, they come to you.
Oh, that's awesome.
Right. And then, okay, let's say you need a resume.
Okay.
They've got a tool for that too.
Of course they do.
It helps you like make sure it's perfect for each job you're going for.
So no more generic resumes that just get like lost in the void.
Exactly. Plus they even have these like AI things that'll look at your resume and be like, "Hey, you could try this."
Oh, wow. So it's like having a resume expert on call 247.
Pretty much.
Okay, so they really have thought of everything.
They really have. And one more thing, remember how we talked about like those skill gaps?
Yeah.
RoleCatcher can actually help you figure out what you need to work on.
Oh, wow.
And then they'll like suggest courses, workshops, certifications.
Some personalized career advice.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
Right.
Well, for anyone out there who like this whole world of metal shaping, the precision, the teamwork, the fact that you can build a real career,
Right.
this might be it. This might be the path for you.
I think so. It's a good one, and if you're willing to learn and grow with the industry.
There's a lot of opportunity out there.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And hey, RoleCatcher's got your back.
Yes. So
So go check them out, RoleCatcher.com. And while you're there, take a look at their career guides. They're free. It's good stuff.
you might just find your next dream job.
There you go.
Awesome. Well, thanks for joining us for this deep dive into the world of upsetting machine operators.
My pleasure.
And we'll catch you next time for another fascinating exploration into the careers that are, they're shaping our world.
Sounds good.
See you next time.